An observer, standing on Sheerness seafront in December 1940 and shortly thereafter, would have witnessed the following events. Convoy FS 361, consisting of 68 merchant ships, Sheerness destroyers and escort vessels, having departed the Firth of Forth on the 14th of December, passed safely through the Outlet Gate in the Thames boom to anchor for the night. Far off to the east, the drone of aircraft engines is heard. Out on the estuary, Sheerness anti-aircraft ships open fire. Air raid sirens scream their warning. German aircraft are approaching Sheerness. Searchlights light up the sky. Artillery on Sheppey commence firing. The Royal Navy shore base at Sheerness and the ships in the estuary are the probable targets of the enemy aircraft. At first light, in the still of the early morning, all seems well. There is no damage to the naval base or the ships in the estuary. The raid was by 93 German aircraft of 9 Luftkorps. Each carried 2 mines, which were dropped by parachute into the estuary. Observers report at least a quarter of these falling inside the boom. All shipping in the estuary came to a stop as the Queenborough minesweepers tried to clear the mines. A total of 19 mines were destroyed, but many more were suspected. The Port of London was the biggest in the world, and it must be kept open. It was vital that shipping kept moving, regardless of the cost. Sheerness, 17th of December 1940. Shipping in the estuary begins to move, to deliver cargo or go about their daily duties. Almost at once, there is a devastating explosion. Cargo ship Inver blew up with the loss of 17 of her crew. Almost at the same time, the coaster Equity detonated a mine and sank with the loss of 6 of her crew. A short time later, the cargo ship Melrix blew up with the loss of 8 of her crew. Royal Navy minesweeper Carry On blew up and sank, losing 7 of her crew. As that terrible day continued, the coaster Belvedere sank with the loss of 4 of her crew. A terrible explosion broke the cargo ship Beneficent in 2, and she sank with the loss of 6 of her crew. As the Royal Navy boom defence vessel Thomas Connolly took up her station at the Medway Gate in the Thames boom, a mine erupted directly beneath her, lifting her out of the water, killing 17 of her crew. Their bodies were not recovered, and they were listed as MPK, missing, presumed killed. 7 ships were lost on that one terrible day within sight of Sheerness. Many of the mines were fitted with a delay mechanism, and in the days that followed, the devastation continued. 2 days later, the tanker Irenia was passing Southend Pier. There was an horrendous explosion as she detonated a mine and burst into one terrible sheet of flame from end to end. Rescue ships stood by helplessly as 67 of her crew burnt to death. The Royal Navy tug Sun 9 blew up with the loss of 3 of her crew. The barge Tig 12 was sunk, but all of her crew were saved. And the tug River Thames blew up with the loss of 3 of her crew. The cargo ship Araby detonated a mine and sank with the loss of 6 of her crew. The cargo ship Attendant was luckier. She was sunk, but all of her crew were saved. The coaster Kinnaird Head blew up with the loss of 6 of her crew, and the cargo ship Pinewood was sunk also with the loss of 6 of her crew. Royal Navy vessel Lion blew up and sank with all of her 5 crew being killed. From a single mine-laying raid over the Thames Estuary by German aircraft in December 1940, 16 ships were sunk in sight of Sheerness. A further 3 vessels, the Dutch steamer Tweed Gibrobers, British steamer Llandilo, and destroyer HMS Berkeley, were all seriously damaged by mines from the same raid. These would certainly not be the last losses due to mines in the Thames Estuary. In the early part of World War II, more ships were being sunk on the east coast of England than in the Atlantic Ocean. In the Nore Command alone, more than 600 ships were sunk due to enemy action.